A $4 naturally derived balm is actively rebuilding the deep structural collagen in women's faces, and the global Cosmetic Cartel has spent the last 3 decades systematically erasing it from existence. Every time you purchase an expensive collagen-boosting cream, a synthetic peptide serum, or a jar of patented anti-aging Miracle Whip, you are funding the exact industry that engineered your skin's biological collapse. They know perfectly well that this cheap, bioidentical compound holds the exact lipid blueprint required to feed your starving fibroblasts and naturally re-densify your sagging skin. Yet, in 1992, they coordinated a massive campaign to bury it, replacing it with cheap synthetic petrochemicals disguised as luxury skincare. You have been manipulated into smearing toxic plastics and useless, oversized lab molecules onto your face, praying for a miracle that will never come. Your loss of firmness is not just age, it is a calculated starvation of your cellular matrix, and today, you are going to learn exactly how to bypass their chemical matrix and permanently restore your skin's natural collagen factory for less than the cost of a fancy latte. Welcome to the grand illusion of the modern beauty industry. To understand why your face is losing volume, you have to understand exactly what happened in the early 1990s. The year 1992 was a terrifying turning point in commercial dermatology. Prior to this, many high-quality, traditional skincare formulations still relied on natural, animal-based, or deeply organic lipids. But the massive cosmetic conglomerates realized a fatal flaw in their business model. Natural, bioidentical fats are incredibly cheap, unpatentable, and they actually work. If a product actually heals the skin barrier and feeds the deep tissue, the customer stops buying. So, the industry executed one of the most brilliant and devastating psychological operations in consumer history. They launched massive, multi-million-dollar marketing campaigns demonizing natural ancestral fats. They told you these natural compounds were dirty, pore-clogging, and unrefined. And what did they replace them with? They introduced the era of petroleum derivatives, mineral oil, petrolatum, paraffin, and a flood of synthetic silicones. These are cheap, completely dead byproducts of the oil refining industry. They cost pennies to produce, they never spoil on a shelf, and the corporations could patent the delivery systems, marking up the price by thousands of %. But they needed a hook. They needed a way to convince aging women to slather these dead petroleum plastics onto their faces. Enter the topical collagen scam. In the 90s, the industry began aggressively marketing creams infused with synthetic or bovine collagen, claiming these creams would replace the collagen you were losing to age. This is an absolute, undeniable biological lie. A collagen molecule is massive. It is a massive, tightly wound triple helix protein. It has a molecular weight of around 300,000 Daltons. The human skin barrier, the stratum corneum, is specifically designed to keep anything over 500 Daltons strictly out. Trying to push a commercial collagen molecule through your pores is like trying to shove a bowling ball through the eye of a needle. It is physically, biologically impossible. When you buy a $200 collagen cream, that massive protein simply sits on the dead surface of your skin. It dries, it tightens slightly to give you a temporary 5-minute illusion of firmness, and then it washes down the drain the second you cleanse your face. You are paying for a completely useless surface illusion while the actual, living collagen deep within your dermal layer continues to starve, break down, and collapse. They buried the only substance that naturally crosses the skin barrier to feed your collagen-producing cells because it would have destroyed their entire synthetic empire. Now, as we pull apart these industry lies and dive deep into the raw biological truth of dermal regeneration, remember that I am providing this information for your ultimate educational empowerment. I am breaking down decades of suppressed holistic science, but always consult with your physician before entirely changing your regimen, especially if you suffer from severe dermatological conditions. Let us dissect the true anatomy of a wrinkle and the catastrophic failure of your dermal matrix. Why does your skin actually sag? The cosmetic industry wants you to believe it is simply gravity pulling down on tired skin. That is a massive oversimplification designed to sell you temporary lifting serums. The real issue is a crisis of cellular starvation happening deep within your middle skin layer. Deep beneath the epidermis lies the dermis. This is the structural foundation of your face. Inside the dermis are highly specialized microscopic factories called fibroblasts. Fibroblasts have one primary function. They manufacture the collagen and elastin fibers that hold your face up. They weave the dense, bouncy matrix that gives youthful skin its thickness and snap. But these fibroblasts do not run on magic. They require raw, biological fuel. They require a highly specific, extremely dense profile of fat-soluble vitamins, specifically vitamins A, D, E, and K, along with precise fatty acids to maintain their energy production. When you are young, your body efficiently delivers these nutrients. But as you age, environmental toxins, UV radiation, and hormonal shifts cause a massive drop in the delivery of these critical building blocks. Simultaneously, the synthetic skincare you use every day, the petroleum derivatives and chemical emulsifiers, actively strip away your skin's natural protective barrier, the acid mantle. When this barrier is broken, a phenomenon called transepidermal water loss occurs. The deep water inside your dermis literally evaporates out into the air. Your fibroblasts are suddenly trapped in a dehydrated, toxic, starving environment. They panic. They shut down collagen production entirely. The existing collagen fibers dry out, snap, and collapse. That collapse is what you see in the mirror as a deep wrinkle or sagging jowls. To fix this, you cannot just rub dead collagen onto the surface. You must restart the fibroblast factories. You must flood the dermal matrix with the exact bioidentical lipid profile that human skin recognizes, absorbs, and utilizes as fuel. You need a compound that seamlessly merges with your own cellular walls, pulling the critical fat-soluble vitamins deep into the dermis where the fibroblasts are starving. This brings us to the science of biomimicry. The human skin produces an oily, waxy substance called sebum. Sebum is your body's natural anti-aging serum. It is composed of triglycerides, wax esters, squalene, and free fatty acids. The cosmetic industry has spent billions trying to artificially replicate human sebum in a lab, and they have failed miserably. Synthetic moisturizers always lack the complex biological intelligence of the real thing, but nature already created a perfect, exact match for human sebum. There is a specific, naturally occurring animal fat that contains an almost identical lipid profile to the oils produced by youthful human skin. Because the molecular structure is a near-perfect bioidentical match, your skin does not reject it. It does not sit on the surface. The skin barrier recognizes the fat as its own, opens up, and pulls the dense payload of raw vitamins straight down into the dermal matrix. This specific fat contains an incredibly high concentration of stearic acid and oleic acid. Stearic acid aggressively repairs the broken stratum corneum, locking the water back inside the deep tissue. Oleic acid acts as the transdermal delivery vehicle, carrying the massive payload of raw vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K directly to the starving fibroblasts. And here is the most terrifying fact for the Cosmetic Cartel. This fat contains a massive, naturally occurring dose of conjugated linoleic acid, or CLA. CLA is a profoundly powerful anti-inflammatory compound that has been clinically proven in holistic studies to halt the breakdown of existing collagen and actively stimulate the fibroblasts to start weaving fresh, new collagen fibers. It is an actual biological signal telling your face to rebuild itself. In 1992, the industry branded this ancestral miracle as dirty and convinced the world to switch to lab-created petroleum jelly. They convinced you to abandon the exact bioidentical fuel your face desperately needed. It is time to reveal the exact ancient compound that the modern aesthetic matrix buried to protect their synthetic empires. I am talking about 100% pure, grass-fed beef tallow. Do not recoil. Do not let the decades of multi-million-dollar corporate brainwashing make you scoff at this. The cosmetic industry intentionally engineered your disgust. They conditioned you to believe that rubbing a synthetic, lab-created petrochemical slime onto your face is somehow more hygienic and luxurious than utilizing the most biocompatible, deeply healing ancestral fat on planet Earth. For thousands of years, long before the invention of toxic med spas and chemical peels, Tallow was the absolute gold standard of royal skincare, renowned for its miraculous ability to heal burns, fade scars, and keep skin impossibly thick and youthful. But you must listen to me very carefully. You cannot simply go to a conventional supermarket and buy regular beef fat. If you do this, you will completely destroy your skin. The conventional meat industry raises cattle in toxic, confined feedlots. These animals are pumped full of synthetic hormones, prophylactic antibiotics, and fed a highly unnatural diet of GMO corn and soy. Because animals store toxins in their fat, the tallow from a conventional grain-fed cow is a highly inflammatory, toxic nightmare. It is completely devoid of the critical vitamins and the magic CLA that your skin needs. If you put conventional tallow on your face, you are driving industrial agricultural toxins straight into your pores. To achieve the miraculous fibroblast awakening collagen rebuilding effects, you must source 100% pure, pasture-raised, grass-fed, and grass-finished beef tallow. When a cow is raised entirely on natural sun-drenched pasture, its fat becomes a hyperdense repository of the fat-soluble vitamins its body synthesized from the sun and the green grass. Grass-fed tallow is the only form that contains the massive bioactive levels of vitamin K2, vitamin D, and the collagen-stimulating conjugated linoleic acid. You must seek out pure sweet tallow, which is the incredibly nutrient-dense fat specifically found surrounding the animal's kidneys. This is the highest grade of skincare fat in existence. It is completely odorless when properly purified, and it is a pure, creamy white color. Because the secret of grass-fed tallow is finally breaking through the industry's firewall, artisanal apothecaries are beginning to sell it. But you must ensure it is triple purified and cold rendered. Commercial rendering uses massive amounts of high heat, which literally cooks the fat and destroys the delicate vitamin A and vitamin E profiles. The tallow must be slowly, gently rendered at very low temperatures to preserve the living, bioactive integrity of the fat-soluble vitamins. To transform this raw, dense fat into a luxurious, highly penetrative anti-aging balm right in your own home, we are going to perform a process called cold whipping. You will need a small, clean glass jar of your pure, grass-fed sweat tallow. In its natural state at room temperature, it is very solid, almost like a hard wax. You cannot just rub this hard wax on your face. It will tug and pull at your delicate skin. We need to alter its physical structure without altering its chemical profile. Take 2 tablespoons of the solid grass-fed tallow and place it into a glass or ceramic bowl. You are now going to add a biomimetic carrier oil to soften the lipid structure. Do not use inflammatory seed oils. You must use exactly 1 teaspoon of 100% pure, organic, cold-pressed emu oil or pure golden jojoba oil. Emu oil, like tallow, is an ancestral animal lipid that penetrates the skin barrier deeper than almost any plant oil on Earth. Using an electric hand mixer with clean metal beaters, you are going to aggressively whip the solid tallow and the carrier oil together. Start on a low speed to break up the solid chunks, and then increase the speed to high. You must whip this mixture constantly for about 5 to 8 minutes. As you whip it, you are forcing microscopic air bubbles into the dense fat matrix. A magical physical transformation will occur before your eyes. The hard, waxy fat will suddenly expand, lighten in color, and transform into a soft, fluffy, incredibly luxurious cream that looks exactly like expensive vanilla cake frosting. It will feel lighter and softer than any $300 synthetic cream you have ever touched. You have just created a highly active, bioidentical, collagen-restoring lipid balm. You have effectively bypassed the entire pharmaceutical supply chain and synthesized the ultimate biological anti-aging compound for less than $4 a batch. Store this whipped balm in a dark glass jar away from direct sunlight. Because it contains no water, it needs no toxic synthetic preservatives. It will stay pure, active, and potent for months. Now, we must discuss the precise application protocol. This is not a standard moisturizer. This is a profound, structural lipid replacement therapy. You will apply this balm exclusively at night. Your fibroblasts perform their most aggressive collagen synthesis and cellular repair while you are in deep REM sleep. We are going to flood the dermal matrix with the ancestral fuel, right when the cellular factories open their doors. Begin by double cleansing your face. You must strip away all the synthetic makeup, the chemical sunscreens, and the toxic daily smog. You must ensure your stratum corneum is completely bare. Here is the most critical step that most women get completely wrong. You must apply the whipped tallow balm to deeply damp skin. Do not dry your face. If you apply a pure lipid to bone-dry skin, it will have a harder time penetrating and will feel greasy. Mist your face generously with pure water or a high-quality single-ingredient rose hydrosol. While your face is still visibly wet, take a very small amount of the whipped balm, no larger than the size of a single green pea. Because this is a 100% pure, unadulterated lipid profile with no water or synthetic fillers, a microscopic amount goes incredibly far. Place the pea-sized amount in the center of your palm. Rub your hands together vigorously for 3 seconds. The natural thermal heat of your hands will instantly melt the fluffy balm back into a liquid, golden oil. Press your hands firmly directly into your damp face. Do not aggressively rub or stretch your skin. Press the melted lipids into your cheeks, your forehead, and your chin. Take another half pea-sized amount, melt it, and press it directly into your neck and your décolletage. The water on your skin will instantly bind with the bioidentical tallow, creating a temporary, highly penetrative microemulsion that gets sucked immediately into your pores. Within 60 seconds, the oily feeling will completely disappear. Your skin will drink it in because it recognizes the exact chemical signature of the fat. It will leave behind a soft, velvet, matte finish. Let us break down the exact biological timeline of the structural regeneration you are about to command. Day 1. When you wake up after your very first night of the whipped tallow protocol, you will witness the immediate cessation of transepidermal water loss. For the first time in perhaps decades, the microscopic cracks in your skin barrier have been physically sealed by the bioidentical stearic acid. Your face will not feel tight, dry, or panicked when you wake up. It will feel profoundly dense, heavily hydrated, and incredibly soft. The dull, gray, oxidized cast of starving skin will be replaced by a thick, healthy, pink vitality. Day 7. You have now flooded your dermal matrix with the ancestral lipids for an entire week. The massive payload of fat-soluble vitamins has reached the starving fibroblasts. The conjugated linoleic acid has begun its aggressive anti-inflammatory sweep of the deep tissue. You will notice a dramatic reduction in chronic redness and subtle swelling around your eyes and jawline. The fine, crepey lines on your cheeks and neck, which were primarily caused by severe chronic dehydration, will appear drastically softened and plumped from the inside out. Your skin is no longer fighting for its life. It is finally being fed. Day 30. This is the milestone of true structural density. You have subjected your failing cellular matrix to 30 consecutive nights of bioidentical fuel. The fibroblasts deep within your dermis have completely awakened from their dormant state. They have utilized the rich vitamin A and vitamin K2 to physically weave fresh, new, bouncy collagen fibers. Look at your face in the mirror. Gently press your fingers into your cheek. You will feel a physical resistance, a deep structural bounce that you have not felt since your 20s. The heavy sagging around your jawline will look firmer and significantly more supported because the internal scaffolding of your face is actively rebuilding itself. The deep, stubborn folds that the industry told you could only be fixed with synthetic injections are softening, filled in by your body's own newly generated collagen matrix. You have not just moisturized your face, you have completely restored its biological integrity. You have bypassed the lies of 1992. You have rejected the cheap petroleum plastics and the scam of oversized synthetic collagen molecules. You have reclaimed the ancestral biological power that the Cosmetic Cartel spent decades trying to hide from you. You possess the key to actual physical age reversal, and it has been right in front of you the entire time. Do not let the aesthetic industry continue to drain your bank account while starving your cells. Start this pure, grass-fed tallow protocol tonight, and watch your face physically rebuild its youthful structure. If this deep dive into the suppressed holistic science of ancestral anti-aging has opened your eyes, hit the subscribe button right now. We are building an unstoppable community of individuals who refuse to be poisoned and manipulated by the pharmaceutical cosmetic matrix. Share this video immediately with a friend or family member who is currently wasting their money on useless $200 synthetic collagen creams. They deserve to know the biological truth, and you must check the description box below right now. I have placed direct, verified links to the exact 100% pure, pasture-raised, grass-fed and finished, cold-rendered beef sweat tallow that I personally vet and trust. Do not walk into a standard supermarket and buy toxic conventional fat. Use the precise links provided to ensure you are securing the massive bioactive vitamin payload your starving fibroblasts require. Reject the synthetic matrix, heal your barrier naturally, and I will see you in the next video.